After a 4-0 mauling of eternal European whipping boys Israel, Portugal are set to start their Euro 2020 campaign. The team has landed in Budapest and in a few days will take on the hosts Hungary at the Ilovsky Rudolf Stadium. The win over Israel was not of great confidence, to be honest, because they've never traditionally been a powerhouse. However, the game served as a great opportunity for their best players to shine their shooting boots. Today, we're going to talk about Portugal's chances of retaining their European crown. So if you know what's good for you, you'll subscribe to the channel and give the bell icon a roundhouse kick so that you're always up to date on all things football. Is it a southern thing? France 2000, Greece in 2004, Spain in 2008, and then again in 2012, and then Portugal in 2016. Is it more than just a coincidence that teams from France and more south than them have won all the Euros since the turn of the century? Who's next? Is it Italy? Roberto Mancini's men are candidates for sure. It is somewhat of a sui generis case for the Azzurri since they've won the tournament just once, and that was way back in 1968. In contrast, they've won the World Cup 4 times. But I think we've rambled on enough about them, so let's get back to Portugal. Yes, Portugal, the defending champions who play Hungary and then Germany and then France. If they win the first game, they'd be halfway to the next stage, and they should be able to do well against Germany and France. Why? Well, they have the top goal scorer from Italy in Ronaldo, the second best scorer in Germany in Andre Silva, and the third best scorer in England in the shape of Bruno Fernandes. The real game begins. The Israeli demolition was quite something, but the next game is for real. Fernando Santos has had enough time to test his players before the tournament began. The fact that they have two brilliant strikers in Andre Silva and Ronaldo means that the manager can make tactical changes here and there. However, the biggest concern that we have is about the team's ability to finish off chances. Portugal have been a little bit wasteful in this department, and it could become a serious issue given the fact that they're playing against a Hungarian side that is defensively quite resilient. Then you've got the likes of France and Germany who only require a few margins to punish you. In the game against Israel, Portugal had 24 shots on goal and only 9 found the target. The squad. Now, Portugal's squad for the 2020 edition is a little bit different from the one that ruined the French parade 5 years ago. Only 11 players from the triumphant campaign have been included, and then there are a few players who are playing in a major competition for the first time ever. While this could be seen as a learning curve, Fernando Santos will be expecting these newbies to hit the ground running. The old guard is comprised of Rui Patricio, Anthony Lopez, Pepe, Rafael Guerreiro, Danilo Pereira, João Moutinho, William Carvalho, Jose Font, Renato Sanchez, Rafa and Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is heading into his 11th major competition for his country, and this could be his second to last outing for the national side. Sporting won the domestic title last term, and the performances of Nuno Mendes, Palhinha and Pedro Gonçalves have earned them a place in the 26-man squad. Watch out for Nuno Mendes, who is quite some player and will surprise many with his pace and direct approach. One of the biggest surprise inclusions is William Carvalho, who didn't manage to get a lot of minutes for Real Betis last season, but still has his manager's confidence. Bernardo Silva missed out Portugal's triumphant 2016 campaign due to injury, and the Man City man will be eager to win something for his country as well. Ruben Dias and Bruno Fernandes head into this tournament for the first time on the back of great campaigns for their respective sides, and you can expect these two to have a major say on how the show is run. The 2016 campaign was a remarkable one for Renato Sanchez. The midfielder announced himself on the world stage in the tournament and then had 3 terrible years before he decided to move to France. Things have worked out for him since, and the Lille man is expected to play more than just a bit part role for his country. Portugal tactics. While a lot has changed since that triumphant run in the 2016 edition, the team's alpha man is still Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, now he doesn't have to carry the entire weight on his shoulders all the time, but the legendary forward's presence is more than enough to rally his teammates into seeking glory yet again. With a great supporting cast that boasts the likes of Andre Silva, Diogo Jota, João Felix and Bruno Fernandes, you can be assured that Portugal will be playing a very attacking brand of football. The midfield is full of creative influence. Fernandes and Bernardo Silva are great ball players, and a lot will depend on Bruno's ability to replicate the form that has made him the most important player in the Manchester United squad. He led the Premier League in key passes, and his forward-thinking approach is exactly what will be needed in all 3 group games. For a sound midfield, you need a few stabilisers and a destroyer. take note, Pep. This time around, Santos can call upon the services of Renato Sanchez, who played such an influential role in wresting the Liga and title away from PSG last term. The youngster is going to get a lot of support from Ruben Neves, who had yet another great campaign in the Premier League with Wolves. At the base of midfield, the Portuguese have two great options in Danilo Pereira and William Carvalho, who are energetic and do well in deep roles. Santos also has the vast experience of João Moutinho to call upon. The defence. The most significant improvement that we've seen since 2016 is the defence of the team. Ruben Dias was a rock for Manchester City as they won the Premier League title, and the youngster heads into the Euros as one of the best centre-backs around. João Cancelo also shone for City alongside Wolves man Nelson Semedo. Borussia Dortmund's Rafael Guerreiro is an unsung hero, and he's quite an energetic fullback who's also a great crosser. And then you have Jose Font. The veteran is simply timeless. On paper, Portugal look quite unbreakable, and they've got a mean defence. Both Rui Patricio and Anthony Lopez are equally good, and whoever gets the number 1 role will be leading from the back. Can they win it? If you're a betting person and want to make a safe bet, putting your money on Portugal would be quite a prudent approach. The Iberian Giants are in a rich vein of form, and they have a lot of depth in the squad. Those who are unlikely to get a lot of minutes on the pitch can still do wonders for the team when called upon, and then the emergence of fresh talent means that this team has the potential to go really far in the competition and maybe even win it outright. Last time when Portugal won the tournament, they actually had quite a poor start. They drew all of their group games and barely made it through to the next round. They weren't the best side in the competition, but they did quite well to put themselves in a position where they ended up defeating France. Things are very different this time around. Don't expect Santos' Chargers to play a laborious brand of football. They have attacking players, and the manager is unlikely to hold them back. Now just imagine the sort of squad that they have. They don't even need Ronaldo as a starter to get the job done, but of course that's not going to happen. I kind of get the feeling that the Juventus man is going to start up front and will get support from either flanks from the likes of Jota and either Bernardo Silva or João Felix. Bruno Fernandes is likely to be given an advanced number 10 role, and he'll be cushioned by Ruben Neves. The pivot will be occupied by Danilo or Palhinha. The centre-back pairing of Diaz and Pepe seems more likely, while Guerreiro and Cancelo are expected to start as wing-backs. However, Santos is expected to make a few tweaks here and there depending on the type of opposition that they face. In the games against France and Germany, we're likely to see two players operating at the base of midfield, and if Bruno Fernandes' role is restricted, you might see Ronaldo struggle to get a lot of service. In that case, there is the possibility of Silva starting up front, since the Frankfurt man does have a tendency to drop a little bit deeper and operate as a playmaker. With such options at his disposal, it's understandable that Portugal are considered favourites to win the Euros. However, it's happened before. Teams brimming with talent in every department end up underwhelming everyone. But hey, you never know with Portugal, who now have experience of playing in big tournaments. But at the end of the day, it'll all come down to how ready the team is for every game. The game against Hungary is being considered a foregone conclusion, but thinking like this could be calamitous. The Hungarians might not be favourites to go all the way, but they still have a very solid defence. Games such as these can provide us with some indication as to whether a team has the ability to really go all the way or not. Portugal will have to be really creative against Hungary in the opening game, since they'll be up against a side that'll defend very deeply and is unlikely to break their shape. If they can pass this test, you can expect them to do one better against either France or Germany, or maybe even both. Coming out of the group of death is not going to be easy, but if Santos' men are able to do that, who's to say that they won't be able to go all the way and become the first country to win back-to-back European Championships since that legendary Spanish side that dominated football from 2004 till 2010.